For those of you students, high school or college students who have big ideas that seem to go over the heads of your classmates and even your teacher, to not get discouraged and to not allow maybe your teacher's rejecting of your idea or your classmates rejecting your idea to prevent you from continuing to research your ideas, to continue to follow in the path in which you're feeling led. Because for myself, I have really big ideas that most of my teachers don't understand, and even a lot of people I come across, they just think that I'm just some otherworldly being that's that's from another planet and that all my ideas are just fictional ideas. My concepts, my philosophical concepts, they're just sort of fictional. They belong in a book. They don't belong in reality, belong as a concept in which we as society should use in our everyday lives. It's not meant for that. It's meant for a fictional book. No, we have to, those of you who are special, like me, I consider myself very special, who are special in the sense of you have this way of trying to look at life. You see life as though there's infinite amount of ways to see it, to perceive it. Because with that, that's where true inventions are discovered, in that sort of perspective where we can look at something, just a single something, and we can find infinite amount of ways to perceive it, or infinite amount of ways to interpret that something, whatever we're looking at. And for my case, it's life. I've constantly allowing myself to every single day to try to discover something new, that a new perception on life, a new way of perceiving life, because I feel that's where the birth of ideas, the birth of concepts that can actually be monumental in orchestrating the transformation, in our life, in a macro level. And I'm telling you, you guys who are special, you guys are the one that's going to be pioneering this world into a new world. Same way Thomas Edison, did. Same way Christopher Columbus did. Albert Einstein did. And I'm going to tell you this right now, that those people who are just, in school and they're just wanting to just make an A, get that 4.0 GPA, who have no interest in really coming up with ideas, or interested in really trying to challenge themselves in a way where they can somehow figure out something new that can maybe possibly do something to better mankind as a whole. Those people are not, they're not pioneers. They're not going to be pioneering anything or anyone into a new dawn. Those are the people that are going to be, part of the majority. The majority that just kind of casually wanders around in life, casually wanders from job to job, or, they wander, I see people, casually wandering around. They don't really know their purpose. They're not really being active participant in trying to do more than what they're doing right now. They're not really consciously aware of that they're more than just, a person going to class, that they're more than just that they actually have the potential to, within themselves, to birth an idea that can actually have a global significance on this planet. People don't think like that. People don't think that their ideas are actually relevant. And I'm telling you, those far out there ideas, the ones I have that are really far out there, that seem to go over the heads even of my teachers, and even though people going to reject them. You have to keep persevering. You cannot conform and tell yourself that, oh, well, my teacher doesn't get it and she is superior to me because they have a PhD, and that I should just conform to their, their teaching. No, we can't do that. Because I used to think like that. I used to think that I should just conform to what my teacher says and just do what my teacher says. But then a part of me feels like, well, my teacher, she may have, a PhD or, master's degree in their field of study, but they're not really doing anything. They're not really challenging themselves in a way to try to come up with ideas. People that's why I say people casually wander around as though the best ideas have already been discovered, and I'm telling you, this world is incomplete. It's been incomplete since the birth of since human life existed, intellectual life. It's been incomplete, and people, I see people even in college, they're like, oh, other people will figure it out. They'll figure out how to change this world. It's not for me. And there's better people, there's smarter people, there's people with more money, more, have access to more resources than me. They'll do it. That's what people think. They're like, it's not for me to do, it's for them. And I'm telling you, each and every person has a capability to do wonderful things, such as Thomas Edison, Christopher Columbus, Albert Einstein, Martin Luther King, Abraham Lincoln. Each one of us has the capability to do this, but a lot of us don't even think like that. We think that, oh, I'm not educated enough. I could never come up with an idea that could be monumental in orchestrating the planet into a new beginning or a rebirth or some sort, or birthing an idea that could actually change the world greatly. Nobody thinks like that, except the few people. There's few people who, despite rejection and being discouraged all the time, they keep persevering because they know that their ideas are important. They know the truth. They know the secret. That this world is incomplete, and that it needs fresh ideas to give it a sense of meaning. A world without meaning, a world that seems complete or whole, or the ideas, it's already good, it already has the best ideas. We're doing pretty good right now. That is a world without meaning, because when I think of the word meaning, having a life that's meaning, it's a constant, ongoing process. Like, for example, looking at a painting, like a Picasso painting. If you can't seem to find infinite ways to perceive that painting, then you're not trying hard enough. Then you're not really allowing yourself to be all that you can be. In order to be all that we can be, it's like we're looking at a Picasso painting and we're realizing that it's incomplete, meaning our interpretation of it is incomplete. It's not just da-da-da-da. It's like we keep adding on to what it is. And for me, some of my teachers tell me that I tend to look at text, because I'm a literature major, and I look at text and I seem to go too deep. I'm turning something into something else. Like I'm turning what, let's say a text about Plato, Plato, on his philosophy, and I read it over and over again, and I come up with an idea that seems to not make sense, or teachers say that I'm taking something and I'm making it something else. And I'm like, isn't that what we're supposed to do? Isn't that where we're supposed to take something that's already discovered, and we're supposed to expand on it, make it so it's something else? That to me is the true word of growth and of expansion. I don't feel we're supposed to take, like a text, from Plato and just, oh, this is what he said, this is what he meant by this. No, I feel as we grow as a collective, because we're not the same people we were, when Plato was alive. We have grown as a collective tremendously, so our interpretation of that shouldn't be the same as, people's interpretation of it was 50 years ago. It should be expanded on. That's what I have trouble on, because a lot of my teachers, they tell me that I'm making something out to be that it's not supposed to be, and I'm like, yes, but isn't that what we're meant to do? Isn't that where inventions and discoveries come from? We're taking ideas, pre-existing ideas, such as, ideas on Plato on love or something like that, and we're supposed to look at it, in-depthly look at it, and basically like transcend it into something else. But nobody thinks like that. But you guys who are watching this video, you guys may be in high school or college, or, maybe going through the whole school system, even in your 30s or 40s, and you have these far out ideas. You have to keep running with them, because you are the ones that are going to change this world, not the ones who are casually wandering around thinking, oh, other people will do it. I just want to get a 9-to-5 job. I just want to get my doctor's degree so I can, be a doctor and make 6-figure salary or something like that. That's what people are thinking. They're not thinking about how can I change the world. People don't think big like that. People think small. I would just like a business. I would like to have a business where I help people financially, or be a financial counselor, or be a banker or something like that. But the thing is, it's not meant for everybody, in this lifetime. Because in order to really be like a Thomas Edison, or Abraham Lincoln, or Albert Einstein, or, just anybody who's done something wonderful to this planet, you have to realize that you are important. Not in the sense of, oh yeah, I'm deserving to have a good life and a family and money, but you actually have the potential to be someone who creates a global transformation.